What is up, Bloomington? You are listening to Metal for the Masses here on WIUX Pure Student Radio. This is my last semester doing the show, so we're going to get it started off right. I got a really good show for you guys tonight. You're probably thinking, wait, he says that every night and all he does is play music and make fun of Korn. But it really is a cool show because it is standing room only in the studio right now. I have the Hiatus Flux in the studio with me. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
All right, I saw these guys play a few months ago. They were playing with Death Chain, good friends of mine, and they are very good. We'll be debuting a new song from them tonight because they've got a new EP coming out. And they've also got a show next week they're going to tell you about. But first, let's just have all the guys introduce themselves. We'll just go counterclockwise here.
Alright, I'm Zach, I'm the drummer.
My name is Sam Pruitt, I am a guitarist.
I am Richard Pruitt, and I am the bassist.
I'm Tyler Morris, and I do the vocals.
Chad Kinder, I play guitar.
I'm Nick, and I play the keyboard.
Alright, so you guys have a CD release party next week. It's going to be at the Bishop. Tell us a little something about that.
Actually, it's not at the Bishop anymore.
It's not at the Bishop anymore, okay.
Yes, it's going to be in Indianapolis at the Hoosier Dome. And we are playing with Valero, Pretending We're Monsters of Wolves and Angels, and another band to be announced. And we're playing right before Wolves and Angels. They're going to headline it. And yeah, so we're going to have hard copies of the CD available to purchase, $5 each. Should be a good time.
Okay, and what's the EP called again?
Firestarter.
Firestarter. Okay, so Firestarter coming out next weekend at a show in Indianapolis. This is the Hiatus Flux. We'll be talking to them throughout the show, debut one of their new songs from the EP. But first, we're going to get to some of the music I brought with me. Regular listeners of the show know how much I love Lamb of God. I love Lamb of God more than some members of my family. It's not an exaggeration. And their new album Resolution came out a few weeks ago, and it's pretty sick. I wrote a review for it on the IDS weekend. You can check that out. I'm going to try to write something up for the WIUX blog. But anyway, I've been dying to play a song from the new album for you. And this one's called Guilty. You're hearing it here on Metal for the Masses on WIUX. That was Cephalic Carnage with Divinations and Volition. Before that we had Textures with Sanguine Draws the Oath, and Lamb of God with Guilty from their new album Resolution. And I forgot to say, we started off the show with a little origin. The song was called Soligia. We are in the studio right now with the Hiatus Flux. Awesome metal band from around here. 6 members all here. They look kind of like Boys to Men getting ready to cut a record right now.
Hey!
Just because everybody's standing up just
Everybody
around.
has their influences.
Speaking of R&B, guess who died?
Oh, too soon.
Whitney Houston, man.
3 hours ago.
Whitney Houston.
So anyway.
Chad's mom is really sad.
Anyway. Okay, so you guys don't sound like Whitney Houston. So if you guys had to describe yourselves to the layperson, maybe someone who doesn't listen to metal, how would you describe yourselves?
Someone who doesn't listen to metal.
That's tough.
Oh, that's toughy. Imagine listening. Well, that's metal too.
Sounds like a riot.
Well, we're not.
Maybe
we're not,
if you like Linkin Park.
It's not devil music.
More heavy.
Heavier than Linkin Park.
Definitely.
Okay. How about someone who does listen to metal? How would you describe it?
Hardcore progressive.
Okay. What?
Mathy. It's kind of mathy.
Mathy.
Kind of in the Dillinger vein,
rough,
between
southern,
the Buried and Me.
Metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
just good, man.
it's just good. Okay. So if you look at your various social network pages, there's kind of a recurring story that pops up about you guys meeting at a birthday party or something. What's the deal behind that? What's the full story there?
Well, we actually got a show playing at a fake birthday party.
A fake. So it wasn't actually anybody's birthday.
I just messed that up. We didn't even play the show. We all it was someone else's show, and we all got together and started like jamming on the
played
instruments
afterwards.
after the show. Yeah. And
I suppose.
Tyler was there. We didn't even know him.
Yeah.
And we just kind of like improv'd and like covered some Trivium songs, and it sounded like crap. And afterwards, Rick suggested that we form a band, and he played guitar at the time, and he just said he would play bass. and so just kind of all fell into place.
Yeah. So were all 6 of you at the birthday party, or who was actually there?
5 of us were.
5 of us were.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick.
So
We didn't need keys back then.
yeah. So what kind of band was even playing there? Was it even a metal band that was playing, or did you just like surprise everybody? Just like,
It was a band called Fight Priest Fight. I was close friends with one of the guitarists, and you know, it was just another one of those shows that we were just going to just to hang out, kind of watch what was going on. And it kind of motivated me. You know, I was kind of looking for a band, and he and I were actually tried to throw some stuff together, and it just never worked out. And then, you know, he kind of moved on, and it motivated me more than anything else, probably.
That's cool. Okay, so you've got the EP Firestarter, which is coming out next Saturday. So how long has that been in the works?
Long time.
Too long.
Longer than it should have. Yeah.
Way too long.
We started recording, and actually, originally it wasn't even these songs, and then the more we recorded, the more we decided that we didn't want some songs and wanted other songs. So all in all, it's probably been 10 months.
And then we added a keyboardist, and it just complicated everything. Thanks, Nick.
That was my favorite part.
My bad.
Keyboardists have it rough.
He had to start writing from scratch. I mean, in what, 3 months?
Yeah.
4 months?
We're all really impressed with the work he's done.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, keyboardists do have it rough. You have to start writing from scratch, and you're the least likely to get laid.
Woo! Before I was in the band, also.
See you later, Nick.
That doesn't change.
Okay. So it's called Firestarter. Why is it called Firestarter?
It has to do with the lyrics.
I just thought it was assumed.
Yeah.
First time I heard it, I was like, that's it.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, very much so. This new EP is very riotous, and I don't know.
Are you looking to incite some riots when you play it?
If need be, yeah.
I'd be lying if I said no.
Okay. So how many songs are going to be on it?
Total of 5.
Total of 5. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to be hearing some from that later on in the show. But right now, I'm going to play a song from Insomnium. Their album, it's from their album One for Sorrow, and that made my number 7. That was my 7th best album of the year last year, if you listened to that show or if you read my blog post. Anyway, the song is called Lay the Ghost to Rest. We'll be hearing more from the Hiatus Flux later on, but for right now, it's Insomnium. You're listening to Metal for the Masses here on Pure Student Radio.
You have so many pictures like that.
He's filming, isn't he?
Oh. Do something funny, Nick.
Tonight is very special because I have the Hiatus Flux in the studio with me. Say hi again, guys.
Who's that?
Yeah. Okay, so they are here promoting their EP, Firestarter, which is coming out next Saturday at a show in Indianapolis. I've been wondering, what exactly does the name Hiatus Flux mean?
Well, it actually all has to do with the lyrics. It's kind of complicated and hard to explain, like everything we do. But flux describes a period of uncertainty after a significant event. And then hiatus is kind of like a break or an interval in period of work. So, I don't know, it's kind of about how everyone needs to take a break, stop, think, and then rearrange their lives and rearrange themselves and who they are and bring the humanity back so we're not all just walking around like robots.
Okay, so we were talking in the last air break about you guys met at a birthday party, started jamming together, formed the band. So since that fateful birthday party, how have you guys evolved when you've learned to play together, or how did you always did you go into the band deciding that this is what you wanted to sound like, or just how did you guys change or evolve since you started playing together?
Oh, geez, we sounded like crap when we first started. Nothing like this.
Yeah, I don't think we ever actually tried to sound a specific way. It's always been pretty natural. Whatever we write is what we've sounded like.
It's really come together now. I feel like we're all on the same page.
Yeah, now it's clicked after Anecdote came out, and then we got Nick, and now everything's clicking.
Very satisfied.
It's just good, man.
We started out playing pretty much just pure energy, thrash, and
Thrashy metalcore.
we got
We actually covered Lamb of God songs at one point.
That was before I was in the band.
yeah, and then we moved on to covering August Burns Red and sounding like that, and then we moved on to covering No One and sounding like what we do now. So
Yeah.
All right, that's definitely a good way to go. Okay, so I've talked with talked with a few of you guys at the show you played with Death Chain a few months ago, and I just heard you guys talking about like you guys like several different kinds of metal, not just like the mathcore like Dillinger Escape Plan stuff. Like what other kinds of stuff do you listen to? Like just like across the board, what do you guys like to listen to?
Misery Signals.
Yeah, Mystics all the way. Favorite band still.
I like a lot of post-rock stuff too. Maybe that's just me, but I like softer
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, we definitely all have our own preferences. I don't think any two of us are actually alike.
people are always like really surprised when I tell them I only have like 10 metal bands in my iTunes, and so yeah. But my favorite band's Between the Buried and Me.
Yeah, they're from my hometown. That's definitely a good one to pick.
Yeah.
I love them to death.
That's one we can all mesh on.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do listen to a lot of different music. Like, I'm the death metal, black metal, even like just grunge music kind of guy. And then everybody else, you know, has all kinds of different stuff.
And of course, you know, I listen to like Kelly Clarkson and John Travolta.
He's actually really good.
Yeah, that hit John Travolta song.
Grease Lightning.
But yeah, no, that's interesting because like if you actually, especially if you listen to like some of the musicians who play like progressive metal, kind of like you do, like a lot of them don't actually listen to that much metal. Like if you listen to hear like Tommy Rogers talk, he's very much more of a Radiohead type guy. So how do you go from like listening to not metal to playing metal?
I think it's all pretty natural. It's just like the way I feel about it is good music,
Yeah,
and I can get into any style that is sophisticated and brings something new to the table, like combines the greats with what they want to sound like.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good idea to pull in all of our influences. That way you create something completely organic and different from other people. So you get your own sound. That way you're your own thing, and then you start branching off and looking different.
I definitely think that the more we play together, the more we start becoming our own influence as well, and that's what helps us develop our own sound.
And we get influenced off of each other too. So
Yeah. You just take all the energy and aggression and put it all out there.
All right, so I'm just kind of curious, just if you guys had to name from each member, if you had to name your top album of 2011, what would it be? I'm gonna make you.
Oh boy, on the spot. This wasn't on the question list.
I just thought it up now.
Oh, no.
Curveball.
Yeah,
2011. How about this favorite album of all time?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, favorite
We'll
album.
start album of all time.
Start
Why
What
not?
even happened in
We'll go this
2011?
way.
Where am I at right now?
We're going this way.
I'm going to do both. My favorite release from 2011 was Ellipse by Imogen Heap, and then my favorite album would definitely have to be Colors by Between the Buried and Me, because it completely changed my musical perspective.
That's definitely, yeah, Colors is a masterpiece in my book.
Like I mentioned before, Miss Sigs is my favorite band. Misery Signals, sorry if you don't know the little nickname. And then their album Mirrors is still my favorite album of all time.
I think I'm gonna have to throw back to Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park. That's
It's a good
inspiration
one.
for years and years and years.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That was my jam when I was in middle school. Like that was my angst anthem there.
It was like what, 98?
That was like 2001, something like that. I think that was definitely early 2000s.
Linkin Park
man.
and Pokemon was where it was at.
And Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z.
Well, I guess my favorite album, I'm kind of torn, depends on what I want to listen to. Death metal, I'd say Necrophagist, Epitaph, and then but I really like 9 Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral, and things like that. So, I don't know, all kinds of different influences.
Lil Wayne's The Carter 3.
I forgot to mention that.
I probably couldn't think of favorite of all time, but of 2011, I'd probably say Fallujah's The Harvest Wombs.
Okay, I didn't get to hear that one.
The Harvest Wombs by Fallujah. They're from California.
No, I mean I heard what you said. I didn't.
He hasn't heard
Sorry.
the album, man.
One more time.
Fallujah's The Harvest Wombs.
Okay, we'll be right back with more from the Hiatus Flux. Right now, though, I'm going to wet your black metal sweet tooth, satisfy your sweet tooth. I don't know if I'm going to pet your sweet tooth. Anyway,
Black metal so bad.
your black metal sweet tooth, it's going to be satisfied. We're here with the Hiatus Flux in the studio. Been going since 10 o'clock. They're still standing.
No chairs.
No chairs at
No
all.
chairs.
Okay, so I saw you guys back a couple months ago when you were playing with Death Chain, and listeners of the show will know, just from the amount of jokes I make, I have a certain distaste for a lot of bands that use breakdowns or have hardcore influences. But when I saw you guys, I was really struck how you guys like really overcame everything that I don't like about those kinds of bands. It's amazing how much being able to play your instruments can make a breakdown sound good. So I guess I'm kind of curious. What do you guys think of the stigma that I think a lot of like really like pure metal fans like the True Cult Warriors have out there about bands with hardcore influences? And or what do you think about bands like Asking Alexandria or a lot of bands from Rise Records? Kind of becoming the face of core influences.
Makes me mad. I mean, I think bands like Asking Alexandria, it's all a gimmick. They just do it for the chicks or whatever, and that's not what metal's about at all.
I think that's probably just the easiest side of the genre to be in. It's, everything's simplified, and it's just got, it's all based on studio work where you have, a specific guitar sound that sounds like everybody else's, and live, all you have to do is have white lights and jump up and down.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just not good, man.
it definitely still takes hard work. I mean, they still have to run the band like a business and stuff, but as far as like creatively, it just doesn't bring anything new to the table. Like, there are a million bands like that. Well, not a million, but a lot of bands like that. And
500,000.
It actually goes back to what I was saying earlier too about making sure we use all of our influences. That way we have the most organic and diverse sound we can have.
They do that too, but all their influences sound the same.
Yeah.
Oops.
And it just grows too, so it's a snowball.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been striking me lately, like, As I Lay Dying has never been better. Like, they are consistently getting better and better and better with each album. Like, I thought The Powerless Rise was easily the best thing they've ever done. I thought that album was fantastic. And you can just tell, with each album, they're learning to play their instruments better and better. And as a consequence, they're using breakdowns less. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that you're hearing fewer breakdowns as the guys in the band get better at playing their instruments. But then on the other side of the coin, you hear bands like Veil of Maya, who are obviously very good at their instruments, but they know how to use a breakdown effectively. This is something I have to ask to anybody who plays metal around this area. Bloomington is not known for its metal scene.
Definitely.
At all.
Indiana itself isn't.
Yeah.
Most of the United States is. Be better if we were in Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, if you were in Florida or maybe the Bay Area, they got kind of really heavy scenes down there. But so I have to ask, what is it like for a metal band trying to get booked in Bloomington or in Indiana at all? Like, is it hard, or are you finding it's opening up a little bit?
it's not hard to get booked. It's just like sometimes it's like, what's the point?
Is it hard? It's hard to get people to come out.
Yeah,
It's frustrating to get support, yeah. To get an ongoing support group behind us to finally.
The fans we do have been amazing though. They've supported us. We even if we play like 2 shows at the same venue in the same month, they still come out and support us.
We love you.
Thanks, guys.
So, have you done anything? Have you put forth what kind of efforts have you put forth to kind of overcome it? Like, I mean, not just the fact that it's hard to get fans, but obviously there seems to be like a shortage of bands for you guys to play with. It's probably hard to get on a bill. So, what have you guys done to overcome that?
Well, lately things have been picking up. We've been networking a lot more. Like, as soon as we see bands that catch our attention, we immediately want to make friends with them. Because there are even though there are a lot of bands that sound the same, there are still the ones that stick out, and it's very obvious that they know how to play their instruments. So we try to remain in contact with them.
Because the thing I'm noticing even more, because I started actually going to metal shows. My friend here in Bloomington, I've been going to metal shows long before that, but here in Bloomington, I went to one of the first metal shows I'd ever been to in Bloomington was a brand new band. My friends in Massacre, and they were known as Ballistica back then. But I really.
With them.
What, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, they're really, really good guys. Had them on the show several times. But what I'm noticing about a lot of the metal bands that come out to play is there are no metal bands out there that are like just guys in their 30s around this area. Like I'll go see shows in like my hometown of Raleigh, and like there are a bunch of metal bands over there, just like old guys who've been listening to Cannibal Corpse for years. But a lot of like all of the metal bands around this area are really, really young guys. Like they're in their late teens, early 20s. You guys are obviously one of those. What do you think of that? What do you think the reason for that is, if you had to speculate?
It's all the older people in the country.
It's definitely, metal ever since Metallica. The people that like Metallica kind of grew up, and as metal evolved, I think that it lost a lot of those people. And then as the younger generation, everybody's always looking for something new. And I think, some people find it in metal, some people find it elsewhere.
We're trying to keep it fresh, and not all like the older people can really get into that, it seems like.
I have noticed that like the bands with members that are in their 30s, usually around here they play like kind of like Creed style music, or they're heavily influenced by Tool, which I love Tool.
Oh,
me too.
Tool is one of my all-time favorite bands, hands down. Yeah, that's also the same back home. Like I've noticed a lot of bands that call themselves metal are really just Alice in Chains ripoffs.
Gotta love Alice.
Oh, Alice in Chains is a great band, but a lot of the bands that are like them are not.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be coming back with you guys again in about 10 minutes or so, but right now I'm going to play a little something from Gorod. This song is called Diverted Logic. This is Metal for the Masses on Pure Student Radio. It's kind of the moment we've all been waiting for. At least I've been waiting for, because I haven't heard the song yet. It's we're going to play a song off of their upcoming EP. It's called Firestarter. Well, the EP is called Firestarter. You guys want to talk about the song or the EP or anything? Before we let everybody hear it?
The song is called Snake.
David, talk about the lyrics.
The lyrics, it's all about the riot and everybody getting moving, and
it's heavy. It's
yeah.
toasty.
It's really different from anything we've ever done. It's really mathy and aggressive. I don't know. There's a lot of energy with all of our new stuff, and it's really fun for us.
It's a lot more energetic than Anecdote most of the time now.
Okay, so tell us about Anecdote. What is Anecdote?
Anecdote was our first full length as the Hiatus Flux. So that came out last year.
2 years ago.
2 years ago now it's 2012.
Hard to get used to.
Definitely.
It was
What's your favorite band?
it was a lot more like I guess progressive than this stuff, and we weren't as skilled as we are now, like in every aspect. I guess lyrically, vocally, recording, producing our own stuff. We did both of those by ourselves.
That's why it takes us so long too, because it's really hard to do everything that goes into it.
And for Anecdote, we actually, for most of Anecdote, we didn't have a second guitarist. It was just Sam writing guitars until Chad was available from another band again.
Word.
Okay, so before we get to the song, I just want to know why this one? Why are we playing this one right now, instead as opposed to any other song on the EP?
We've been playing it the longest live. We've played a couple shows and we played it, and I don't know, I think it's one of the more repetitious, so it's kind of catchy, so we just kind of want to get that out there.
Awesome. Okay, guys, here we go. Song is called Snake from the upcoming EP, due out next week. The EP is called Firestarter. This is the Hiatus Flux.